We speak this morning on how to achieve your major priorities for 2023. The new year has started. And what normally happens is that many times people do not meet up with their responsibilities, meet up with their commitments, and when they do, many don't meet up on time. And set goals and targets for the year are not always met by many people. One of the reasons is so every year is because our energy and focus and time, resources, attention is usually diverted to too many things at the same time. A priority is something that is considered as urgent. Some things are more urgent this year. And there are some things, once it is done this year, then for the next 3, 4, 5 years, you won't have to do anything about that same thing. So if there's any time to put aside other things and focus on that particular thing, it's this year 2023. Every year has its own priorities. Every year has its own priorities. In the book of Proverbs, the school of wisdom, the spirit of wisdom will teach us. It says, build up your work, build up your business, and then build your house. So that means one should come first before the other one. Have a solidified stream of income and then build your house. A priority is something that is considered as urgent and more important at a particular time. At a particular time. Something that must be done within a particular time frame. Something that demands compulsory attention. Compulsory attention. And one reason why many believers do not win a single soul every year is because it is not their priority. It is not their priority. There are ways we will know what is really your priority. There are ways we will know. Anything that is really a priority to you, you will accord it principal attention. Principal attention. You will also give attention to other things, but you will accord that thing principal attention. In Matthew 6 verse 33, the Bible is telling us here, and our Lord Jesus was speaking himself, he said, but, contemporary English version said, but more than anything else. I was talking about priorities now. More than anything else. Your priorities will reflect in your budget. Yes. Go and check the states that are consistently coming out among the top 5 in education in Nigeria. And you are going to also observe that those states give a higher percentage of their annual budget to education. To education. And the states that don't invest in education, it will also reflect in their results, the performance of students in schools from that location, and also in their rating amongst the states in the federation. Jesus is saying in Matthew 6:33, he said, but more than anything else, More than anything else. These other things are important, but more than anything else. So some things are more important at a particular time. At a particular time. How do we apply the key of priorities? One, we need to have a written list of our current major priorities. And that is why if you are heading an organization, you are going to request that all those in some level of managerial position, those who are heading departments, sectors, should submit reports. What are your plans for this year? What are your goals? What are your targets for this year? You are going to demand for reports. And you don't tell your boss that you have some good things in mind and you want to begin to talk about them. No. It is compulsory that those things must be documented. They must be written down. They must be written down. The Holy Bible is written down for us to read over and over. And anything you are not consistently punctual for, your attendance, it shows you are not really taking that thing as a top priority. We need to make the right choices. And number two, you need to identify your priorities from God's perspective. Identify your priorities from God's perspective. And that is what exactly Jesus is advising us to do here. Matthew 6:33, Contemporary English Version, he said, but more than anything else, put God's work first. Put God's work first. Do what he wants. Then the other things will be yours as well. You spend money for yourself, but give God's needs the proper attention it deserves. So you must look at it, write down, pick your priorities from God's perspective. What does God want you to take more serious this year? And number three, choose your priorities for specific timelines. For specific timelines. What is your priority for the new year? It must be written down. It must be written down. Once a week, you have to read it. My priorities for 2023. Choose your priorities for the new month or some particular months of this year. There will be times where you need to dedicate the whole of a particular day just for a particular thing. In fact, there will be times you need not take any phone call. If you are going to really give your best to that day's priority. No phone calls. Number 4, you need to identify equally important issues that are competing with your priority. You can see how we've defined it. So these are not they are not unimportant things. They are not because sometimes we may be careful. We have to be careful when we look at the word distraction. Distraction can be something that is right. But for instance, you are supposed to be communicating with your loved ones. You're supposed to be communicating with your loved, but there are times when answering the phone and talking with a loved one on the phone is a distraction. It's a distraction. It's a distraction. So we need to identify those things that are competing with our priority for our time, our attention, our resources. For our resources, we need to watch it. We need to make plans, still on that number 4, on how to reduce your exposure You need to make plans on how to reduce your exposure to such things that are competing with what is supposed to be the real priority for that hour. It's number 5. You will need to drop a plan on how to achieve them. You will need to drop a plan on how to achieve them. On this plan, you will need to also place timelines on your blueprint. On that plan, you need to identify how best to achieve your priorities. Number 6, you need to drop a budget of what it will cost to achieve them. There are bills you must pay this year. In fact, some people argue that your responsibilities for a year are even more important than your personal goals, or your personal dreams, or your personal desires. Because some of these personal desires can wait, but some responsibilities, commitments, just cannot wait, or there will be embarrassment. Number 7, you need to place timelines on each of the priorities as an antidote to procrastination. For instance, take off time, duration of each phase. Duration of each phase. Number 8, you need to invest on your priorities. Invest on your priorities. Invest time in your priorities. Your valued relationship, invest time. Travel to honor people that are important to you. Travel to be with people that are important to you. And when we say travel, sometimes it will be across countries. That is how everyone will know that you are really close to that person, that you really value that person. Invest your time, invest your resources, invest your assets. Invest your assets on those things you consider as priority. Share your assets. Let people that you consider valuable to you benefit from the things you have. Let them benefit from the things you have. Number 9, treat your priorities with a sense of urgency. Treat your priorities with a sense of urgency. With a sense of urgency. Some priorities need to be given immediate attention, or else it won't work. That thing will suffer. The goal will not be achieved except you give it immediate attention. Immediate attention. And number 10, you need to focus on them and remain focused on them. Focus on them and remain focused.